you need to come to, this holiday gathering or like just completely blasting someone for having other plans. Let's do better. Like, what? And this speaks to your point of like seeing beyond your own experience and recognizing like when you have multiple people in your family who then partner with other people who have kids, who move away, like all the different variables that happen, all of this, it's not as like black and white as it used to be. Welcome back to another episode of Sessions for the Soul.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
We took a little 1 week hiatus. Unintentionally, but we're back.
We are back. We are back. Yeah, that was so fun. So just to like provide context for everyone, last week went into to edit the episodes. And lo and behold, I got into one and I was like, oh no, my audio's not working. Like Kayla's was great. Mine, we're plugged into the same mixer. So I was like, okay. Let me check the other ones because like surely one of them was good. No, we did 3 full hours of recording and not one episode made it out alive. So that was RIP those episodes. And like when we've gone over this, like we've been trying to make sense of this in our heads. Some of those were really good. So it was like kind of disappointing.
It is what it is. I think we've landed on it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And just as we were like troubleshooting to like start this episode, I think it was just the power button, like on our mics. It's just like it's just like touch sensitive power button right there. And so
that's embarrassing. No, I'm just kidding.
It's
but
very us though.
No,
like,
it is.
It feels right. So
like, oh, it was off the whole time. So yeah, hey, coming at you with good audio, and we also like just want to be making quality, and so we were both like, we're not going to put that out. You could hear me. It was just like I was in a different room.
Yeah,
exactly. So here we are. Yeah. But yeah, hilarious. Hey, it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that we I guess starting this episode are going to do just from time to time is I said what I said, like a little opening segment, just briefly, like I said what I said, maybe controversial statement, maybe one that you agree with. Sometimes they might be a little more heavy. Sometimes they're just like light and funny.
Exactly.
Just like a quick little
thing. It's the hill that we're willing to die on.
Yeah.
But And I honestly believe, hey, maybe that's why those episodes didn't work out because we said some of them were shit. Okay, we said some shit. Okay, and that's literally
that may have even like potentially would have gotten us like, off of YouTube. So
exactly. So hey, we'll visit this maybe with more gentle hands. Probably not, but no, it was hilarious as you were saying that. I was like, and that's why the episodes didn't work out. But no, I love it. It's the hill we will die on, but also like when we first discussed this, I was like, and knowing me, I'm so controversial. I'll change my mind. I'll be like, yeah, I'd never do that. I said what I said. And then next
tomorrow,
week, like
you're
doing it. So, LOL. But yeah, I love this. And I'm so excited. Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Oh my gosh.
Let's dive in.
I'll go first. Where is mine? Here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do a different one than the last couple, than the
do
one
it.
That didn't make it. Okay. I said what I said is if you are married, like in a committed relationship, and you are like keeping all your finances separate, doing everything separate, what's, yours and mine, and you're the breadwinner and I'm not, like that approach, like you're not really in like a unified relationship. And I feel pretty strongly about that.
Yeah.
And I know that there can maybe be some caveats, but I'm in an effort to not dance around things all the time because I'm pretty good at doing that. We'll just leave it at that.
I love that. Amplifying what you said. Yeah. Hey, no, sometimes you just have to like say it, right? I love that. I think that, I think that is, hey, if you can sleep in the same, if you can get married.
If you're letting someone inside of your body, but you're not letting them inside of your bank account.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. That
And
is
in like a
in a
committed,
marriage.
yeah, like
In
in
a
a
marriage.
committed
And
relationship.
that, hey,
Let me
hey.
clarify. Yeah. Do not recommend just letting
And don't just let anybody inside of your bank account. Okay.
no.
That's fucking funny. But no, absolutely. I totally get where you're coming from. And also, like, if you're going to marry somebody, I was just watching this documentary last night, and this woman married this man after 6 weeks of knowing him.
Whoa. Okay.
Like, they got engaged and then they got married like a month later. So,
Wow.
like, they know each other for what, a total of like 3 months, and they're married.
Yeah.
And there's a documentary about it for a fucking reason. Okay. That's what I'll say. But, precisely that. Like, her whole thing was like, who the fuck did I marry? Babe, what?
Yeah. You know what though? My parents, I don't. Mom, if you're listening, maybe put in the comments, correct me, fact check me. But they dated for like a few months and then got engaged and married. Literally, I think within like the first 6 to 8 months.
Well, and hey, I can see that. But if like I just met a man and there's like a lot of red flags and whatever, and
Oh,
we're engaged, like fully ring on the finger, like planning a wedding 6 weeks, and that's only a month and 2 weeks.
yeah. It's not a very long time
That's
to
not
like
3
actually get to know
months.
someone.
If you know, you know. You know what I mean? 6 months, okay, I totally get it. Because I can see that. But
It gives a little more time.
right, and there was like a lot of red flags.
Sure.
For the documentary is called Don't Date Brandon, and it's set in Seattle and Portland, and it's
Oh.
crazy.
Ooh.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But yeah, so that was
Hmm.
wild.
What's yours? Oh my gosh.
Okay, so mine is being hot is an attitude. And um this will make more sense in the next episode. But I'm gonna do it for this one because I would like to keep the controversy to a minimum next
Yeah.
episode. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, being hot is an attitude.
For
It
sure.
is not a I think that there's like so many misconceptions, especially when we're young, about like, oh, I have to look a certain way or be a certain size or be like fit in this box to be hot. And that's just not the case. Like you can be hot and um you could yeah, no, you can be hot at any size, you can be hot at any age. And this that like seriously, I feel like I was more hot as I got older, and I feel more hot now today. And this is hilarious, but I love when someone's like, "You're so hot." Fucking say it again.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm like, stop. A man once said to me, "You're so hot," and I said, "I know," and I meant it. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no, but truly it is like the energy that someone brings, the confidence that someone brings, not like arrogance, but just like confidence, you know?
absolutely,
Like those things I think actually mean so much more than like external looks, or it just like enhances,
yeah, it
you know?
translates
Yeah.
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
it's a way of hey, wait, it's a way of life.
Yeah.
Being hot is a lifestyle. Okay, that's crazy.
Follow us for more advice.
More life
Life
advice.
tips.
But that's what I said what I said. Being hot is an attitude. So ladies, if you're out there feeling like you're not hot, you probably are. And you should just really embrace it and
Yeah.
enhance that
Yeah.
side of yourself. So
I love it.
these were
These
good.
were good. These were not
Too
too
bad. We'll see
controversial.
what happens next episode.
Yeah,
Hilarious. But anyway,
I like
today,
it.
yeah, me too. So today we're gonna talk about we wanted to dive into a little bit like we're getting into the holiday season. And we know that that can be like a time that's super triggering for everybody in different ways and for different reasons. So how to survive the holidays.
Mhm.
And we're going to kind of hit on a few different things like saying no, you know, having empathy for everybody as it is a like really challenging time.
Mhm.
And you know, family roles, time boundaries, conversation boundaries. Oh, I can't wait to dive into all of these.
Mhm.
And then like energetic boundaries and just like communication and how to really brave the season
Yeah.
because it's coming and we all have different, you know, whether it's that family member you haven't seen for a long while and they're like, oh wow. So what's new with you? Whatever, you know, we'll dive into all of it, but
Yeah.
we want to just kind of give everybody some tools and touch
Yeah.
on some of the like uncomfortable parts of this
Yeah, just like how to
season.
navigate this where you like you can enjoy the holiday season, you feel like, you can really settle into it and like be with family, whatever that looks like for you, and have boundaries that feel good for you so that it's not like you're feeling like so drained and exhausted and like you're not even looking forward to spending time
Yeah.
with people. So, yeah, finding that balance because I think a lot of people, I guess just diving into it, like moving into the holiday season, it can feel, you can have like a mix of feelings of like, oh, I'm so excited. Like Thanksgiving is coming up and Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate. Like it can feel so cozy and like exciting and romanticizing the idea of it. And then I think a lot of people find themselves like in the trenches of it, like going to all the celebrations and all the family gatherings and having to check all these different things off the list of getting the Christmas tree and going Christmas shopping and like all the different events around all of this. And it can feel, you end up being like, oh my God, this was like actually more exhausting than it was relaxing and enjoying.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it can become like a really dreadful thing. Like,
Yeah.
and if the year before was like really stressful, I feel like that can kind of like I've noticed myself kind of like catastrophizing a little bit, like
Mm-hmm.
future tripping about how like, oh fuck, it's gonna be like really stressful and this
Yeah.
is like gonna be a thing and then this person's gonna be upset. And I'm trying to like really center and be like, hey, we don't know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
also do all of this stuff so that I can be present and actually enjoy the season because I do love a little twinkle lights and cozy season and the whole idea of Thanksgiving. And I want to clarify real quick. I don't love colonization, but I do
Yes.
I do love
Yes.
I do love practicing gratitude. What?
At a
Um
family gathering, like, yeah, what
yes.
it's become. Yeah.
Precisely, yeah. Which is hilarious. But yeah, no, I do love that. And so yeah. We're going to just dive into this.
Yeah. So I feel like, so saying no is like one of the first things on our list. And this I think can be so hard, and we have many episodes where we talk about like people pleasing and setting boundaries and codependent relationships and mesh families, all of that stuff. And so the concept of like saying no can feel so hard if you are someone who like falls into that category like we kind of do.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I think sometimes it can be helpful, and we've maybe touched on this in some ways in previous episodes, but like looking at like the drains versus gains and like looking at it through that approach of like, what are the things that I want to say yes to, that I actually want to say yes to, that are going to feel really fulfilling for me, that check off the boxes for me, whatever that looks like in terms of like what the holiday season is giving you.
Yeah.
Family gatherings, generosity, gratitude, like whatever that looks like for you. What are the things that I actually want to say yes to that are going to like fulfill that part of the holiday season versus the things where I'm like, I really don't want to go. Like it just feels, my schedule's already so packed. I don't want to go on this trip, or I don't want to go see this family member because like I just don't have the capacity for it at this time.
Yeah.
So like trying to kind of measure like what is like your full body yes versus what everything inside of you is like screaming no. Don't don't say yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that like also goes to like there's like the part of this is like if you're hearing the no's and like you already feel spread thin or you know that like this whole thing is going to be too much, you get to decide like what capacity and how you want to engage with that, like because also speaking to the like codependency, the enmeshment, all of that, if you feel the obligation to be present at something and you really feel that obligation strong but you are like, ugh, I don't want to, but I know I have to. If you're in a situation like that, there, one, you get to say no. You really do. You have that permission. And then two, also you get to decide like, okay, we're only going to go for an hour and then we're going to leave.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. And like really being clear with yourself on like what capacity you have
Yeah.
and what you want that to look like, because I think and this is like on our list too, is like seeing beyond your own experience. I think that
Mm.
that goes both ways, right? Because what kind of inspired this conversation was like the discussion around how sometimes people, there is this like inability to recognize, like especially if you are an adult child, and you know you have traditionally like spent the holidays with your family, and maybe you're in a new relationship, or maybe you got married, or maybe you know things look different this year because of divorce, of whatever, insert like,
travel plans.
no,
Like,
literally insert
yeah.
issue here,
Yeah.
right? Um, and recognizing that, like, so maybe you have to not attend your family's Thanksgiving on the day, or maybe, you know, you have to be somewhere else for your kids, or etc. Like, whatever that looks like. If that is the case, and you have family members who are kind of guilting you or making you feel bad about that,
Mhm.
being able to just like take a step back for yourself and say, like, that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Because personally, like, what I think is that those people who are like making you feel bad about the circumstances, right,
Mhm.
that are probably in a lot of ways like out of your control, or like they just look different this year for whatever reason,
Yeah.
those people have a really hard time seeing beyond their own experience. And so being able to like recognize that that's not ours to carry,
Mhm.
and if they want to let that dictate how the whole season goes for them, oh my gosh, good for them. Like,
Mhm.
let them have a shitty time.
Mhm.
Do not carry that, and do not feel guilty.
Or like you're responsible for their experience. Like they
Right.
get to choose. They're an adult. They get to choose how they feel. Yeah.
100%. And I think that that's like such an important thing. And we can be like, hey, I know it's going to feel a little bit different this year, and I'm bummed too, but
Yeah.
this is the circumstance. And I'm so sorry, but this is what it is. And,
Yeah.
you can even set your boundaries and say, it's really not helpful what you're saying to me. It's really not helpful how you're treating me. I already know that this is difficult, and it
Mhm.
is what it is.
Yeah.
And people might not love that.
No, it can feel really uncomfortable. There's this, I was telling you about the trend on TikTok right now
Yeah.
that's been kind of crazy to read some of these things, but it's like a little carousel post of like sometimes you have to read so and so's text and just like ignore it and move on with your day. And then it's like a screenshot of the text. And some of these that are from like moms or mother-in-laws that are like holiday related, of like you need to come to, this holiday gathering, and or like just completely blasting someone for having other plans. Let's do better. Like what? Um and this speaks to your point of like seeing beyond your own experience and recognizing like when you have multiple people in your family who then partner with other people who have kids who move away, like all the different variables that
Right.
happen, all of this, it's not as like black and white as it used to be. And so it's having to figure out like how can I, like you said, be bummed. Like you of course can be like bummed and be like, oh, I
Totally.
really would love to be able to spend, the holidays all together as a family. And I recognize that you have XYZ plans, even if it's we're going on a family trip this year, like being okay with like accepting those no's, if you will,
Yeah.
from other people. And so it's just, it gets quite complicated, I think, for
Oh, it
families.
totally, you know what, as you were saying that, I was thinking about too, like on the mother-in-laws or the moms or the people who are sending those text messages, like recognizing that, like, if they're taking the family trip, if they can't attend because of all the circumstances that we've just touched on, hey, guess what? That doesn't mean you're not lovable, or like you're not being
Yeah.
abandoned. And I think it
Yeah.
touches on something deeper of like
Yeah.
the
What's it saying about
yeah, the
you and your
scarcity that that
insecurities?
person is carrying.
Yeah.
Because that's all I can think of when it's like, well, they're not going to be here for the holidays, and now, like,
They must hate me.
the whole thing's ruined because everybody hates me and nobody wants to be with me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, insert 5 act play here.
Yeah.
Okay, Shakespeare, let's pump the brakes. It's not about you. Um,
Yeah.
and that's like, hey, I know that nobody wants to hear that it's not about them, but it's not
That's like a
sometimes.
good time to find a therapist. A good therapist,
Uh,
if
and
I may recommend.
no, absolutely, that is fucking funny. Yeah, that is a great time to find a therapist. Sorry, like, let us get comfortable here.
Well, but really, because like if you're using, which you should not do as an adult, especially with children, like if children are involved, but using other people to basically determine how you're going to feel and how your day is going to be or how your holiday is going to be, like those are big, um, like deep issues that need to be addressed.
Absolutely.
Wounds, maybe wounds
Wounds.
is a better way, not issues, but really, I mean,
Issues,
issues.
wounds,
I'll stand by it. Issues.
problems. No, but really it is. I think it speaks to like that thing. And also, um, I don't know what this is. It's like a generational thing of like wanting to uphold traditions that like maybe need to evolve. And I totally get the like value of tradition
Yeah.
and keeping like a thread, but also sometimes meeting in the middle of like modernity. Like I was thinking about this this morning when I was like cleaning the kitchen.
Mhm.
Um at my parents' house, I was cleaning their kitchen
Mhm.
and I was like, hey, thinking about holidays and Thanksgiving and Christmas and like last year, it was just so much. And I had suggested, like, what if we just did like something different this year and didn't do like a 5 course meal that's like
Mhm.
insane? And we just did like a lasagna Christmas
Mhm.
because it's not about what we're eating, folks. It's about
It's just like being together.
together.
Yeah.
And I was like, how nice would that have been? And the way when I suggested that to my mother, Mommy, if you're listening, this is a lot of moms. If you're listening, we're really sorry. This is not about you, but this is. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God. Um, but when I suggested that, my dad was like, oh, great idea. My mom was like a week or two post surgery.
Oh
So
yeah.
I
Okay.
that meant Christmas was in my lap, bitch. What the
Yeah.
fuck? I was so mad. But so I had to make a prime rib and all this stuff only because when I suggested lasagna Christmas, my mom started bawling and was like, well, then it's not even gonna be Christmas, and just like how terrible that was. Like I suggested like that we sacrifice the youngest grandchild or something. And I was like, that's really not what I didn't think that that
Yeah.
warranted. Hey, a simple, I'm not really up for that would have been fine. But
Sure.
um
Yeah. It is interesting, like the like feeling so tethered to certain traditions, and I get it because there are certain things where it's like, oh, this is the thing that makes it feel like fill in the blank holiday or gathering or whatever important
totally.
day. And sometimes, like, there are circumstances like surgery or people being out of town or whatever the case is, and having to be like, oh, okay, so now my kids are all out of the house and starting their own families. So maybe our traditions are going to start looking a little different. And what does that look like? And how can we still feel like it's the holiday season? That might even be like financially related. Maybe you're used to having like these really big, extravagant, gifts. And then at some point you're like, it's just not in the budget this year, or maybe I don't want to tap into like all the consumerism stuff. So
Yes.
like there's so many different factors that can start to, you know, evolve the traditions that you have, and trying to be as flexible as you can.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that you said that. I every year it feels like, and I know this is different for everybody, but it can feel really excessive or like overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
how much stuff or how much like the obligation or like we have to be here and here and here and we have to go 6 places today um and we have to buy gifts for everybody and all of this stuff. And sometimes it's like taking a step back and saying like, but do we like, or what's the like need? Even being an auntie, like my sisters have both shared like, oh my God, please just get my kids one thing
Uh-huh.
from each person because
Yeah.
it's so much and they already have a bunch of stuff. And then it's like,
It's
it's
overwhelming.
overwhelming where we don't have room for this. And then we have to
Yeah.
get rid of stuff. And then it's just like kind of shows the excessive consumerism
Yeah.
and like how the plot gets lost of like what we're really doing.
Yeah.
And so I sent an email to my family.
I fucking love family emails.
Oh my God. I sent an email. And by the time this airs, you'll all have read it.
Yeah.
I sent it this morning. I had my assistant help me draft up something because I don't want anything for I don't
Yeah.
want anything. I literally am like, please stop buying me shit. And I don't mean that in the way of like, yeah, I love when someone looks at something and they're like thoughtful and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
this reminds
Sure.
me of you and I want to give you this. Cause I do that too. I totally get it. But I just moved 3 times in the last year.
Yeah.
And
It
every time,
really just makes you acutely aware of stuff
no, I'm
when
like,
you have to move. Yeah.
no, it literally does. I'm like, I have so much stuff. I don't want any more stuff, especially like the season of life that I'm in. I'm like trying to just like get rid of as much stuff as
Sure.
possible
Yeah.
so that I can like, one, declutter, and two, like, I don't know what I don't know what my next moves look like.
Sure.
And so having all of this like literal baggage,
Yeah. It's a lot.
oh no.
I think that's a good. I know we're going to do like boundary tips toward the end, but I just on this note of like gifts and being able to say no and set those boundaries, I think that's a good thing to do is like clearly communicate up front, like, hey, I really just don't want gifts. Please don't give just like for your own self fulfillment. I do not want this. What we've done too in the past is we've said just over the years, like, we really don't want like material items. If you feel like giving, like, you could do like an experience
Yes.
gift, like different things like that, but instead of like a material possession. Because we also feel like that just in our home sometimes where it's like, oh my gosh, it's so much stuff. And it just feels like really overwhelming and mentally cluttering. My sisters or my siblings and I, and all of our partners or spouses, all do. I think this is maybe like our third or fourth year doing this, where we just do like a secret Santa. So we're not all buying every one of us gifts because that just becomes like so much and so overwhelming. It's just one gift for one person, and that's
I love that.
it.
I love
So
that so much. You know what's my family does something kind of similar. We do like a gift exchange. So it's one gift. The
yeah,
adults like we play a game out of it and it
yeah,
gets like crazy. But and we theme it usually.
I love
But
that.
yes, and like we've had some really solid years with it. But like in the last few years what's happened is like then, you know, like we do the gift exchange and then like my aunt will still buy us gifts and then my mom will still buy us gifts
It's like
and
people are not sticking to the
then
rules.
no, and then my sisters and I are like, well, we have to get each other something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a second. Wait, I feel like we lost the plot, you guys.
Yes.
And so it's kind of that thing where it's like, and also one of my favorite, like, I don't know what to buy my brother-in-laws
Hmm.
other than socks. And this has been standing for years. Every year I'm like, what do I get this man?
Yeah.
I've known this man since I was 10 years old. And I'm like, I do
Yeah.
not know what to get this
No.
man for Christmas. And hey, I love you and I know what you like, but I also like don't know what to buy you. And so
Yeah.
there have been many moments where I'm like, then I'm overwhelmed and I feel like I'm just buying like how many pairs of socks can you
Just like
give one
buying to buy.
yeah,
Yeah.
one person
Yeah.
before they're like, yeah, I know you got me socks.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to give them. Like it's fine. And that's real life. But
Yeah.
exactly, I think that like having tips or like some ideas around it and just being okay with setting that boundary.
And sometimes, yeah. So, yes, being okay with setting the boundary around gifts, consumption, things like that. And maybe even being okay with like exploring, different ways of doing it. Like this year, let's try this thing. And next year, maybe if like that didn't feel right, let's try something else. And like
Yes.
being okay with the flexibility. And in that, that's allowing you to like practice saying no, practice listening to your own needs and communicating those needs, and just getting into like strengthening that muscle of being able to like actually enjoy the holiday season in a way that feels really good for you, and still like checks off like the potential value system of like family or giving, or like whatever the value system around the holidays looks like for you. So I think those are good like mid-episode tips.
Absolutely. And finding like the new family tradition, right? Like
Yeah,
finding what
fun
feels
with it.
good because sometimes traditions need a little
Just
revitalization. Let's breathe
yes.
some life into this.
Yeah.
I love that. And that I feel like that's a great transition for like old family roles talk. Just about like sometimes when we show up and we, you know, like we're seeing people maybe you haven't seen for a while or everyone's together in a specific way. It's really easy to like one either have people assume that you will just like assume the position of your old role in the family,
Yeah.
or two, for people to treat you the way that they've always shown up and treated you in that family role. And you know, kind of like everybody reverts back to like
It
that
just falls right in line.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, now you're peacekeeping, you're like the black sheep, everybody's just kind of like
Yeah.
just falling right, regressing
Yeah.
right back into that place. And how to kind of cope with that. And we want to talk about how to navigate that discomfort because it can be really uncomfortable, especially if you've been moving through a season of doing so much work on yourself.
Hmm.
It can be so triggering when you know all the work you've done and the growth that has happened, and then
Hmm.
you show back up in this position and in this place, and everybody's just
Hmm.
either doesn't have the capacity to see or is like really unsure how to handle this new version of you.
Yeah. It's really tough. I inspired by my own personal work right now. Start with self-compassion. Like That's a
Yes.
good place to start because I think sometimes, like, especially if you're listening and you're like, "Oh, I'm really like, I'm doing a lot of the work on getting out of those like people pleasing tendencies or caretaking or codependency patterns and things like that." And then you find yourself entering the holiday season and it's really easy for you to like say yes to everything, overextend yourself, try and like placate the whole situation. And then you might find yourself just getting really frustrated at yourself. And instead of taking that route of like beating yourself up over it, trying to find some space for like self compassion of like, well, you know, it makes sense why I'm doing this. Like it's really easy and familiar and it's really challenging to like break out of those patterns. It's one thing to do it in isolation in some ways and not isolation but like apart from the direct like family system, but then when you enter back into that like family ecosystem and you're like, ooh, this is what I know, like I am the peacekeeper or I am, you know, the black sheep or the scapegoat, like this is just my role. And so I think just starting with like self compassion and just recognizing like it's you're not alone in that. Like I think a
Yeah.
lot of people find themselves like falling back into that and recognizing like what are some like really small steps that I can take. Maybe I don't have to go full force into like all the things that I've been doing, but like just, you know, a small percentage
Yeah.
or saying no once or setting this boundary in a way that feels really good for me, but where I'm maintaining that relationship. So like finding the small ways where you can still like honor the progress that you've made.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I love just amplifying everything you said 100% because like that is what it is. It's like having that compassion and also having compassion for like this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is having compassion for those in our lives who just don't know any different and like
Mm-hmm.
aren't doing we're not all walking the same paths and not everybody is here to like
Excuse me, just choked.
so good. Hey, we haven't choked in a few episodes.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of you.
it was overdue.
It was. But
Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay.
it's okay. Hey, I'll edit that out. Um, but having the compassion for those people and understanding that like that they are they're doing what they know and
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not excusing bad behavior or like manipulation or some of those like less desirable things that people can do when they aren't super self-aware or walking these paths or doing like inward work. But what I am inviting all of us to do is like I it's not our job to be the mirror for everybody. And again, speaking from my own work, like
Mm-hmm.
this is a huge thing that I've been working on for a lot of years and that like has really like come up in the last month for me is like it is not my job to shine a light on everything for everybody
Sure.
and it doesn't actually feel good. And so just having compassion for them and just like what am I here to do? If it's Thanksgiving, if it's Christmas, if I'm spending time with my family on a holiday, I'm here to connect and just like give love.
Mm-hmm.
And to whatever capacity that is for each individual because I know we all have very different circumstances, but like I can't it doesn't serve me to just get like super mad that like oh
Yeah.
you're putting me in this role and you're not recognizing the work that I've done or whatever and then like being like short with somebody or like
Yeah.
letting it dictate the mood of the day.
Yeah.
And so just inviting like that compassion of well as well of like okay like they don't know hey ignorance is bliss and they don't know any better so like God bless them and
Mm-hmm.
or whoever blessed like bless their soul
Mm-hmm.
because what is it serving in that moment or when you know you're going to be at that dinner or you know you're going to be in that place for a few hours like is it really serving to just like hop on the hamster wheel and like
Mm-hmm.
get all worked up about it and
Yeah.
actually like you know what's that even doing and so I feel like that actually steals the joy of the moment that like whatever joy there would be in it for you as the person who's working through that and so um that I just feel like it's like kind of like a it's like a just a big compassionate empathetic circle for us it's like okay it's just one circle of like to ourselves and to others and it's like um it's kind of like a like I don't know reciprocity is coming to mind and
Mm-hmm.
but I know that that involves an other usually but it's just kind of like walking the talk I guess
Mm-hmm.
yeah
Yeah. I love that. And just recognizing too, I think sometimes it can be, it's like towing the line of like having that compassion and recognizing like it's not about making excuses for the other person. You're
Yeah,
not falling back into like the people pleasing patterns just because you're recognizing like, this person's dealing with their own stuff. It's just like, how can I fully show up for myself today so I can, fully
enjoy.
enjoy it and like really lean into the experience that I'm having. So
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that this is like a perfect place to kind of discuss like some of these boundaries
yeah.
around like um I know we kind of touched on like the time boundaries of like if it's not a situation you really want to be in, you get to determine that amount of time, that you're
Mm-hmm.
spending in that place. And you get to determine like, hey, you know what? I'm actually not available on Thursday, but we
Mm-hmm.
can do dinner on Friday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We can do our own Thanksgiving. Like we assign the meaning to the moment. And just because like the United States, what the fuck? The United States has decided that it's
These like happen
Thanksgiving.
on certain days. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what? No, it's fine. Um, no, 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 no.
Sometimes like flexibility is really helpful, and also like being able to set time boundaries of like, yeah, I can show up, but I have to leave by this time and I have to really stick to this, and upholding that yourself, like you need to
Yes,
follow through on that. It's not the other person's responsibility to be like, oh, I know you have to go right now, and then like getting you, like, you need to uphold that boundary.
100%.
Yeah, the days of the week that you're celebrating, like in my family in particular, like my sisters, or my sisters primarily, like have, partners that they're celebrating on different days. And so like we coordinate every year to figure out like, okay, what day are we actually celebrating, be it the actual day of the holiday or a different day. And it just is what it is, right? And so just being flexible in that way, and also just like upholding the boundaries that you put in place, I think is really important.
Absolutely. I love that. And this is a great uh, another boundary point is conversations.
Yeah.
So a big trigger for me in my early 20s after I had like moved home because hey, I wasn't even at Thanksgiving for the years that I lived in LA.
Hmm.
Because it's like, oh, I'm going to come home for a day. I have to work, all
Right.
this stuff. It just really didn't make sense most years. Like I think maybe 1 or 2 years I came home when I lived in LA. And really interesting, just how when I moved back, I felt really uncomfortable talking to people about like where I was in life. And one of my favorite tips I was ever given from my therapist, shout out to Ashley, we love you. Um, because I was like having such bad anxiety about like certain, so like what's new with you?
Hmm.
Oh, so like what are you up to now you're back here? Oh, that didn't work out.
Hmm.
Like just the perception of judgment or the perception of like having failed, right? Or just
Yeah.
being uncomfortable about the phase of life that I was in.
Sure. Yeah.
Her tip was when people are like, "So what are you up to? What's new with you?"
Hmm.
"Oh, I'm just hanging out with the family. Oh, I'm just drinking coffee." Whatever you're literally physically doing in that moment,
Like
like
keeping it current, like present.
present to the present moment. You don't owe anybody an explanation about your whole life. Like,
Yeah.
so what's new with you? Oh, just been taking care of myself, just making this turkey, just, whatever it
Yeah.
is, you get to decide what you're ready to share and what you're not.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an important boundary for people because some of the stigma or like the dread around like, I don't want to go do this. I don't want to talk about my relationship. I don't want to talk about my job. I don't want to talk about my living situation, whatever, like insert thing
Hmm.
here. Um, you don't have to.
No.
I don't know
Yeah.
why like people think they're entitled to
Yeah.
access to our lives, but they do.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
They want the tea.
They want the fucking tea. What? They
They
do.
do.
And th- I, there are certain people that I'm happy to give the tea to in my life.
Sure. But
Absolutely.
I think it's like a safety thing too, of like, I actually feel safe enough with you to like be a little vulnerable and to share like, I just feel uncomfortable about the season of my life I'm in, or things didn't go as planned, or like
Yes.
like not ever, you don't feel comfortable with everyone to say that, and that's okay. And that's where it's good to just like kind of divert the conversation to like, this is what I'm doing in this moment. Or if they're like, what are you up to in life? What are you doing? And then just like kind of like I'll usually talk about like, oh, we're, working on this house project, or, we did this recently, like with family, or I don't know, or a dog or a chick, like just like
Right.
random stuff that I like actually like pretty surface level stuff to be
Totally. But
honest, but like, you
it's
know,
self-preservation. Like that's
yeah.
what's coming to mind is kind of like because I think you touch on something so important. It's like who's a safe person to
Yeah.
like be vulnerable with?
Yeah.
Because if someone's just asking for information about your life to like get the tea and like have the gossip to be able to like
You
talk shit
generally know who
later.
those people
Oh,
are. Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
right? My list grows every year. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But no, seriously, it's like, okay, well, I just know that this isn't a safe person to like bare my heart to.
Yeah.
And then there are those other people, like my aunt and uncle, like I will always like, even if it's been months, they're like, okay, what's up? I'm like, let me tell you everything that's gone on. And then they're
Yeah.
like, okay, we
Yeah.
hear you, we see you, we love you, like no big deal. But then there are those other people who kind of fish for information, you know, just to kind of like maybe um have an opinion or whatever. And what's coming to mind is like the word hoocha, which is like, it's kind of like giving that bad energy. You don't want to exchange vulnerable things with people who like want to like kind of
Yeah.
give, and it's like not even
It's
intentional
not from
sometimes.
their, and it's not a good intention that they have, even if they don't know. Like it's sometimes like
Yes.
a subconscious way of just like, just trying to get the information, whether it be to like go share with other people, to use it against you, like to weaponize,
To feel better about
to feel
themselves.
better. Yet, yeah.
And that's icky. And so just like recognize like where those safe spaces are for yourself because it is self-preservation.
Yeah. And also, just on the topic of like conversation boundaries, there might be topics that come up that you literally do not want to talk about. And you can say that. You can say, like, oh, I really, like, I don't want to talk about that right now. And move on to a different conversation, bring up a different topic that maybe seems like more comfortable. And there's a lot of like hot topic things that sometimes people will want to bring up, like politics, parenting choices, medical choices, fill in the blank. Like there's so many topics out there that people maybe want to bring up to get
Yeah.
your take on. And sometimes you just don't want to engage in it, and that's okay. And you have the right to be able to say, like, I actually don't want to talk about that right now, but I'd love to talk to you about this.
Absolutely. You know, I've my family is like really diverse in belief and opinion and all of that and
Mhm.
political views and et cetera, like whatever. We're all very different.
Mhm.
Um, and so my favorite is just like um making a joke of it of like, oh no, we're not gonna talk about that, are we? Like,
Yeah.
oh no, let's like, come on, like
Yeah, there's like casual ways to like brush it off and like
exactly. Just being like,
just shift gears.
oh, oh, I know you didn't just say that. Oh no. But did you guys see like tomorrow there's blah 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 whatever it is? Or did you
Yeah.
happen to catch that like
Yeah.
literally whatever? But exactly, it's that thing of like, you know, just having respect for each other because the reality is like it's a diverse world. We don't all need and
Yeah.
to come to a place where it's like, and if you have family members who are like pressing the issue, yeah, you get to just literally like, oh hey. And if they keep pressing, hey, I said I really don't want to talk about that. If you're not going to respect it, I'm going to have to walk away right now. Get up and go, you know,
Yeah.
to the bathroom, go outside, go talk to somebody else. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
And if it feels uncomfortable, okay, that's okay. It should. And then just remember it's not your discomfort to carry, it's their discomfort for not respecting
Yeah.
the boundary you set.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Certain not everything needs to be on the table for conversation topics. So
Absolutely.
energy boundaries. So again, just looking at like what things feel like they're fulfilling for you, like the energy drains versus energy gains, and like what, that might be specific events, like with a bunch of people there that feel really draining for you, or it might be specific people that feel really draining for you. So being aware of those things and recognizing that sometimes that means saying no altogether. And other times that means saying yes and setting some of those like time boundaries or conversation boundaries, and being able to figure out like, how can I show up in this space with maybe this person who like is really draining for me, but protect my energy and not be so affected by their attitude or their frustration or their, stressed out about everything. Like, how can I like have those kind of like energetic boundaries around myself so that I can still enjoy myself?
Absolutely. One tip that I really love and I've given to clients in the past, like I have a client who like every year around this time will be like, I'm channeling what you told me like 3 years ago because it's just a vulnerable time for them.
Yeah.
And one of those tips is like literally before you go to the party, go to the dinner, go to whatever, just like one, close your eyes and visualize, do like a quick little breath exercise of visualizing that like literal energetic bubble. And a way that I do that is just like I take my time to breathe into it and like imagine the force field sort of like happening around me. And then I also just imagine like the words or like the kind of those energetic things that I'm trying to keep out of my space, like hitting that wall and bouncing off because it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm protected. And then two, you always have an escape. You always have an out. And that is like, whether that be when the thing gets uncomfortable, the conversation gets uncomfortable, or you don't know how to answer something or how to approach something, just literally saying like, oh, 1 second, I'm going to use the restroom, or,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know what? I just realized I need to check on this,
Mm-hmm.
and just walk away. Like you don't, oh, yeah, I have to go to the bathroom. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Yeah. It
It's
just gives you
okay.
some time.
It does give you time
Yeah.
to just decide like what you want to say,
Yeah.
how you want to approach it, or if you want to approach it at all. And if you don't want to approach it, when you come back, you get to be like, oh yeah, I don't even know what I was going to say. You can brush it off. Like you don't have to give, or you can just say like, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But buy yourself time
Yeah.
because it helps,
It does. I love the like energetic boundary bubble situation too. I just like a somatic version of that as well as literally like take if you're watching on YouTube, like taking your arms and like literally like feeling the space around you and recognizing like this is your space, this is your like energetic bubble and doing like the visualization of like what does that look like, what color, what texture, like how strong is it, and I love like the like words bouncing off and, or like other people's energy bouncing off of that. So sometimes it can just be helpful to like get really physical with it, like a few, before walking into the party. Maybe don't do it in like the parking lot, but
That'd be hilarious. Do it in the parking lot. Are you kidding? I love that. I
I love
would.
it. Yes,
By the
do
way,
it.
I'm that person in my family. Like, I'm the person in my family. They're like, hold on. She had to leave to go sage herself really quick. I'm like, oh, I know you didn't just say that to me. I'll be right back. And I come
Yeah.
back with a pocket full of crystals.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, these rocks are weighing me down.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, I am that person. It's actually so funny.
I love it. Do the weird stuff. Whatever makes you feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, one thing I was thinking of when you were saying that too, like it might be a little woo woo for some people, but like I do an energy cleanse before I go. Like I literally will stage myself or whatever, Florida water, whatever that thing is, to like just kind of like do a reset and like cleanse myself. And then when I get home, I do it again because
Mhm. Yeah, whatever ritual feels like nice for you
yeah,
to like protect your energetic boundaries.
and clean up afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Communication boundaries. So this one more so about like not being like so available or having to respond to everything right away. Like being okay with like taking your, first of all, turn your notifications off. 10 out of 10 recommend. But also being able to like recognize you don't need to respond right away. Like you don't need to be the person who's like saying yes immediately or saying no or whatever the case is. Like just give it some time, even
Yeah,
if that's like a few days. No one's entitled to hearing back from you right away. You don't have to answer every call, respond to every text message, reply to every email. Like just give yourself some like breathing room to actually think about like, is this something that I want to attend? Is this something that I am available to attend? Or do I want to leave space for maybe other plans to come up? You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like just take your time.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great. And it gives you that time to just like really get clear so that
Yeah.
there's no like making a decision in a moment of haste or like being like, oh,
Yeah.
and then you get to really be clear on like what it is you want to do.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. No pressure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we've given some like really solid tools to
Yeah.
survive this season. And then also just like on an ending note, I would say like be gentle with yourselves and be gentle with other people too, because these seasons, like they just bring out a whole other side of
It can
humanity.
be so challenging for so many reasons. And I feel like we could do so many different episodes on this, like the grief of the holiday season that it can bring up for people
Yes.
who aren't present, or like just all sorts of the financial strain and like the stress related to that. all the things. And so it's like a sensitive time of year for so many reasons. And so I think just like, yeah, coming back to compassion and empathy and kindness for not only for yourself, but also for other people.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful place to end.
I think so. Thank you guys so much for listening. And we will see you next week.
Yes.